Power companies want to control your air conditioning. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I thought we'd finish today with my last episode looking at power companies that want to have control to your air conditioning. Now if you can see behind me, I have a fan blowing because my small little office space here, it can heat up with all the computer equipment I've got going, and I try and keep the windows closed because, well, we have a lot of birds in the yard and people have been complaining that they think there's problems with their cars when they listen to my talks in their car and the birds are cheeping. They think it's squeaking in the vehicles, so I'm listening and responding. What's happening there? It's disappearing. But this is just a crazy article. I've only read the headline. Power company trials solar, batteries and controlling home air conditioning to manage the regional grid. Now, can we think of anything worse or anything more literal central planning where, the central authority can control your air conditioner in your home? In your home. Just think about that for a moment, guys, while I have my stein of coffee. I mean, that's nuts. Now, before we jump into this article, I'd just like to have a look and make mention of this previous video I did, Victoria Destroys the Solar Industry. And this is an example where another government, another policy with good intentions has crippled an entire sector of the economy. It's to do with the government grants for, solar panel installation and how there is an incentive now for people to wait. And I don't know why an advertisement is coming up there for aged care for me, but I guess it is. I'm in that demo. But I'll link to that video and have a look because, they've got a cap on the number of rebates. And the rebate's so big and they only come out every month. So that means there's a cap on the number of actual installations that happen every month. So a policy that was designed to do good is pretty much destroying an entire sector. Now, if you think looking at these ideas and these propositions from government and what we get in the media is something that your friends and family would like to be exposed to, or you think it would help them out, please share my content around. I'd like to help grow the channel and I'd like to have more people talking and discussing these ideas. Now I just realized I haven't been sharing that video, but I will share it here, and this is it. I mean, there you go. I mean, they've got 3,767 rebates available. And they run out real quick. And then no one, why would you get any more installed? So share this video around, please, and let people have a look at it. So jumping back to this article, let's, would you be happy with the power company controlling your air conditioner? Because you might be, the hippies going, oh, Florian, air conditioning's bad for the environment. Greta says no. But, I mean, that's just one step away from them controlling your lighting. Oh, sorry, we're using too much power in sector 5 of, I don't know, airstrip 9. You need to reduce your power, lighting off for 4 hours. Looking at having like rolling blackouts, like failing economies. That's the next step. We should not get accustomed to this. Okay, this is a failure of the system. And I also looked at 1.2 million homes in Victoria were at risk of blackout. But that's another topic. So a power company is remotely turning home air conditioners off in a trial to manage peak electricity demand. But will consumers hand over control? Bloody hell, no. I bet you not. I bet you they will hack the things. And then they'll probably go to jail. There'll be an anti-air conditioner hacking clause. It'd probably be 10 years because it's worse than the bad for the environment. The technology is being tested in the town of Broome, in the baking climate of the north of Western Australia, in Broome. Bloody hell, where you need air conditioning. Government-owned power retailer Horizon Power offers cheap solar and battery systems to 15 households that would also allow the electricity company the ability to turn off air conditioners. So there you go. There you go. You make a deal with the devil to get this rebate, then they have control over your air conditioner. Maybe that's the next step in socialist Victoria. See, the Victorians are doing it wrong. Western Australia is kicking your ass, guys. You know, you think you're the socialist capital. No, no, no. Central planning your air conditioner. Computer says no. General Manager for Consumer Energy, Andrew Balver, said this helped the company protect the grid from too much demand. So on those very hot days, when there is a lot of stress on the system, we send a signal to the air conditioner and we'll just keep the fan running, and for 10 minutes we'll just switch the compressor off, he said. So you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. The fan will just be running and the compressor's just turned off. That's nuts. Mr. Blaver said switching off air conditioning cooling for short periods makes a big difference to the electricity grid and no noticeable impact on homes. Every customer in the surveys afterwards said A, we didn't even notice, or B, our comfort didn't change, he said. Oh, aren't they good little minions? You know, letting the state have control over your air conditioner. Am I the only one that has a really bad feeling about this? It feels really like insane overreach by an authority. It does not sit well with me, guys, in the slightest. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you accept this? Every customer in the survey I read that. And when we look at the network peak demand, it's probably a dozen times a year that we would do this. And we would incentivize customers financially. Okay, you're saying that now. You're saying that now. But what happens in 10 years' time where you've got a population that's docile enough that the central authority can control devices in their home to save power, and then you get the Greens in. Oh, we've decided that only pensioners are allowed to have air conditioners for the environment, for the good of the planet. We need to pay our potato board members even more. So we're cutting electricity costs. This is the wrong way to deal with infrastructure issues. It's backwards. People should not accept this. Called the smart... No, it shouldn't be called the smart son pilot. It should be called the, government minion. Or the good little prole, the drone. The drone son. We'll change that. You're a drone. We'll nerve staple you next. That's it. You can't have any wrong thoughts. You can't use too much air conditioning. The trial will run for another year before Horizon Power will consider rolling the program out as an opt-in across regional Western Australia. I don't know. Should people have the right to opt into this? The problem is, it's a state-controlled power company. There's no competition. Can you get power from another company that won't eventually do this? And how do we know it's not going to be mandatory? And how do we know that you may have an air conditioner you're not opted in, but they'll just turn it off anyway? This is like some Alex Jones stuff here. Come on. I need to start plugging vitamin water, not just coffee. Relinquishing control. Matthew Stocks, a research fellow at the Australian National University, said this kind of demand management was a good way to reduce the costs of power generation. We have to pay for enough generators available to meet that demand, he said. Well, we're building a whole lot of power generation that's only running at 50% of the time, so who cares? Each individual's temperature might rise a little bit compared to what it would have been if running continuously, but largely we wouldn't notice it because the air conditioner would be allowed to turn on again later, and the overall peak would have reduced, reducing costs in the system. While the theory is good, the question remains as to whether enough people are prepared to cede some control over their home air conditioners. This is the social science question. The technology is easy. We can send a signal down the wire, Dr. Stock said. So what is the incentive that I'm going to need to say to someone else that, yes, you can control my air conditioner? Money. Money. They need to pay you money. You need to be able to monitor it. You need to be able to opt out on a moment's notice, and they need to pay you money. Adjunct Professor Bill Grace at the University of Western Australia said power companies had difficulty introducing other new technologies that connected them directly to people's homes. He said there had been concerns when smart meters were rolled in Victoria about privacy issues and having Big Brother control your appliances. Yes, that sounds like an insane conspiracy theory, but we're having it happen right here, okay? This sounds like a conspiracy theory. Big Brother controlling your appliances. Well, there you go, guys. It's the government controlling your air conditioners. The reason to do this trial is to be able to show people that really it has no impact on the efficient use of their appliances, he says. It's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's about the state coming into your home and controlling when you can turn something on and off. Do these people not get this? Do they not see where this could lead? Maybe this is just entirely where we're heading. Wow. So solar restrictions. As well as managing demand on the smaller isolated electricity grids in regional Australia, power providers have regulated grid-connected rooftop solars to prevent problems caused when power flows into the grid from homes and businesses. Yes, it's funny. A lot of these providers are now restricting how much solar panel you can have on your houses because it's causing more problems than it's worth. These networks traditionally were designed to take power in one direction, Dr. Grace said. So when you start putting a lot of solar on, particularly in the middle of the day, then you're reversing the electricity flow in the local distribution system. But Dr. Grace said concerns about grid connected stability may have been overstated by power providers in the past. Western Power in the old days in Perth used to say that this was going to be a particular problem, he said. They carried out trials and the problem seems to have gone away, he said. New grid-connected solar systems have been prohibited in Broome because of concerns over impacts to the electricity grid until recently when Horizon Power invited applicants for a total of 2.1 megawatts of grid-connected power. As systems grow or change, so the calculations are done again, Mr. Bulver said. The calculations were now made have shown we can lift that capacity. But some residents of the town missed the opportunity when the majority of the allocation was given to large solar systems on commercial properties. This was very much on the first come first served basis, and it's always difficult when you have a hard cap, he said. On paper it would seem like larger systems have soaked up most of the available capacity. Well, they're going to be using the power anyway. The impact from residential solar applications missing the limited allowance was felt keenly by Jack Castlerin, who has just established his solar installation business in Broome. I had 5 projects that have been declined by Horizon Power, so I'm lucky that I've worked elsewhere, he said. He said the network capacity was reached in 25 days. So here you go, it's the same thing that's happening in Western Australia. It's the same thing that's happening, same thing that's happening in Victoria. The ABC understands that a third of residential applications for grid-connected solar in Broome were not able to access the newly available capacity. Horizon Power's Andrew Bulver said the power retailer was reflecting on how the new allocation of solar hosting capacity was released. He said Horizon Power was looking at how it handled a future allocation of hosting capacity released to determine if it could allocate a certain amount to a customer type. Dr. Grace said the technology was now available to ensure regional power grids could adapt to the demand for solar and the benefits of this could be fully realized. I think the time has come for the technical issues to be overcome with smart technology, smart inverters, and if necessary, reinforced local networks, the doctor said. This will enable us to reduce our greenhouse profile, while it is critically important, he said. And also have the state controlling your air conditioner use. I mean, how much of that power that's going back onto the grid, do they cycle down the power generation at the plant? Or do they just waste the power? I'd love to see how much of that solar power generated on the rooftop is actually utilized. I know if we look at, we'll look over here in total energy production by source, and I will reload this page. You can see here, you know, what do we have? Solar power in different areas, 30% going up. So if you want to have a look at our solar usage, have a look at that website, guys. So, what do you think? Would you allow the government to, or the government-owned, a power company to control your air conditioner in your home? Or does it not sit right with you? And if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends on social media. Help get the word out so more people realize that these type of things are slowly creeping into our lives, and that, you know, ideas such as, you know, government control over quotas for energy, solar capacity, limiting free business, and things like what's happening in Victoria, where an entire industry is getting destroyed by good intentions. And if you like my video and you want to support the channel, please chuck me a couple bucks at Patreon or Subscribestar, and thank you to everyone who's been using my Amazon referral links. It makes a big difference. Thank you very much. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now. And I will just jump to my outro. See ya.